I am with Patricia D. Ryder at the Yume Japanese Gardens. And she's about to assemble some pieces for the flower show this weekend. So we're out by the pomegranate tree, picking branches to add color, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it's always half branches, half flowers, most of the time. Sometimes it can be just branches.
All right.
Okay.
Tell me more about this piece, Patricia.
Well, this was done by a teacher named Ping Wei, and he's in Phoenix. He's a very famous teacher in Phoenix. He does the most modern type of arrangements, which are done by the Sogetsu school, because we have different schools that are going to be represented, and I will be representing the oldest school, and this is the newest school which was established during the 20th century.
Sogetsu.
Sogetsu, yes.
And he teaches this style in Phoenix?
Here, well, in Phoenix, and also once a month here.
Oh.
Yes, he does. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So now,
so when you cut your branches, you really you look at the shape before you cut them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes a while to clean them up because they don't come just like that. You just don't pluck them the way they are. They have to be cleaned up to emphasize the lines.
And are you creating it as you go, or do you have a thought in mind beforehand?
Well, no, depending on the material. I don't even know which flower I'm going to choose that will go with it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you do a real demonstration, you do think ahead of time, but this was not.
But it's not part of the experience. It's a whole bunch of composition. It can be zen.
Well, when you are a teacher, you have done it so many times that you do kind of have a feel for what you're going to end up with. If you are a student, then we show you a pattern, and then you follow that pattern.
Until you get the basics.
And then you can go on. But really, it's kind of a lifetime study. I started 40 years ago, and I still take classes.
So where did you start? In Japan?
Yes, I started in Japan.
Good move.
And I continued when I was in Wisconsin first, and then here.
So now you just have one frog, and that's all you're going to use for the whole setup?
Yes.
Or you might, that's it?
I have another frog in this one because I would like to have a two.
It's going to be a double.
Yeah, it's going to be a double.
Nice.
But
you're not going to put more frogs in there. You've one.
And sometimes some schools do it even without frogs at all. It just depends on the type.
What would you use? Something like...
you get really good, and the Ping from the Sogetsu school is really good at just making a balancing act.
The materials themselves?
Yes. You use them against each other to...
Cool.
Now there's some branches that you can, modify the shape of, and that's requires a certain technique. And if you try to do it too fast, then they break.
But you're not going to add like an armature or anything.
No.
It stays natural.
Mm-hmm. This is a natural type of arrangement. Mm-hmm. There are some that take a long time also, and that where you put wire and
on a stiff kind of a branch like this, you would
the stiff branch, usually you try to modify the shape just by yourself, but if you do it let's say, a flower that needs to go a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
you might. There are arrangements where everything is wired. Actually, I don't think I'll have time to do this, but the most difficult form of the Kenoko school that I teach, you have to wire every single branch.
And you would put that like through the stem, through the middle
No,
of
you
the
go,
stem.
well, it depends on the flower. If it's a let's say a gerbera, you
Mm-hmm.
put it in the stem.
Mm-hmm.
Some flowers, especially if you have to have just the neck moving or the branch going in a certain direction,
Mm-hmm.
you might just wire the front. So this is a very, very natural arrangement. And when you do a natural arrangement, you try to have it so that it represents the branch in nature. So the how do you say that? What is it again? This plant and the another person, the pomegranate.
Oh yeah, pomegranate.
Okay, the pomegranate has a free flowing. I mean, it just goes everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that spirit with this arrangement.
Mm-hmm. It's already pretty free flowing.
Yes, and it has to be, like I said on TV the other day, it has to be three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
You have a tendency, especially if you have two things like that, you'll just do it and it's aligned.
Flat. Uh-huh.
So you do put branches that go a little bit everywhere in addition to that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to move it once we're done because with everything in the background, you lose it. And
Well, but
people-
I can walk around it too, which is kind of
That's
nice.
true, that's true.
It is
But at
kind
the
of
end,
cool.
maybe you might want to have a shot with
Yeah,
this.
yeah, a flat top. Right.
Okay, so which flower am I going to use with that? I tend to be very minimalistic.
Yeah, but it
Well,
already it's full. I mean, you know, it already is like a little mini forest right there.
Yes.
It's cute.
Okay, let's try some, no, not yellow mums, that would be boring. As I said, I didn't choose the flowers in advance. I think I'm going to have purple ones.
So chrysanthemums are very popular. Why are they so popular?
Because they grow every size, shape, and form in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And this is a season for it too. So when you do a show like this, you try to do it so that you respect the seasons. And more I'm thinking to do a spring show because you have all the blooming branches and you know, for the moment that if you go to a store, you have wonderful tulips, but that would be almost a crime to use tulips in this show.
I have a peach tree and an apricot tree you could come over and cut off of in my yard.
Well, I would love that.
Yeah, I sort of think about doing it, and then I went, no, I want the peaches, and I leave it on there. But it does. It really, you could just cut a branch and it would be done. That's cute. Looks like it's really growing out of there.
So usually the Japanese flower arrangement are meant to be viewed from one side, which is going to be my side.
Oh, it is going to be your side.
Yes. But that's not to say that we should not, you know, do some.
So you're following the line. You've created this line, and then you're just making it look like it all was in the wind together or something.
Kind of. The flowers don't need. The flowers are kind of fillers, and they just are there to give some.
Like color? Oh.
Yeah, some make it happier and make it look like an arrangement.
Mhm.
Let's put this one on. No, I can't do that.
Nice.
I should have chosen maybe even smaller kanzan. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I had the biggest kanzan you can imagine. But I could redo it with a smaller frog which is kanzan in Japanese. Because if you put everything on the same side of your frog, everything is going to...
It falls over, right?
Okay, so when you do this, well, it's nice to have, things going every which way, but you try not to have too many branches crisscrossing, because that deters from the simplicity of the arrangement, and that's what we look for usually.
You mean crisscrossing, actually touching?
And touching, of course, no touching,
Uh-huh.
if you can help it.
But you mean even visually, not crisscross?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Oh.
This one does not correspond, it's kind of a freestyle. We have other arrangements that have very specific rules, and in which case you cannot do what I'm doing here.
But those are, like in a contest, like the show this weekend, they would be
We call it-
specific.
They're specific to my school, but they are freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're freestyle, as the word says it, you can do pretty much what you want. I'm going to leave it like that, but I would like to show you one that is not freestyle,
Yeah.
and that is called a shoka.
Ashoka. And this one is just freestyle ikebana from what school again?
Ikenobo.
Ikenobo.
But I'm going to put it in front of there, and you see it's just
Okay.
Okay, well, this is the main branch, and it's called Shin. And then you will have a second one, which is called Soe, and the third one that is called Tai. And it's a 3-element, very specific form that has all kinds of rules, and I'm not going to go into detail here, but it has all kinds of rules, and it has, if you want to try it, it's basically 1 full, 2/3, and 1/3 in the front.
And so the materials are more carefully chosen because they have to do
Well,
only.
you're supposed to do it with anything and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to reach a very specific shape, which is slightly curved going towards the back and one in the front. So it usually takes a long time to do it, because you have to have your branch going the right way.
And so it's about the 3D shape in only 3 additions, right? Only 3 things go in the pot.
Well, you could have 5 or 6. You can have helper, because like this one, for example, I'm only going to have 3 branches, but it's going to be very sparse.
Mm-hmm.
To make it a little more maybe palatable for some people, you could add helpers, on each side of your branches.
Mm-hmm.
But
And it would still be formally within the rules.
right. So it has a lot of details.
And so, like the last one, you start with 1 frog. Is that a universal thing that happens?
Pretty
It's
much.
a pretty much
Pretty
one
much.
frog skin.
Yeah, a frog, if you have a flat surface, you'd use a kind of a twig if you have another type of vase, like a long vase,
Mm-hmm.
you have other ways to keep your branches in place.
But you never use that green oasis stuff that you just poke holes in.
Very seldom. In certain vases, maybe in a modern arrangement, but not in a...
You would never want to
It would
see
have
it.
to be freestyle, and you wouldn't see it, right?
Right.
And then, like in Western style arrangement, I'm not having much luck with this branch. Maybe I can have 3 different material. In Western style arrangement, you cover the oasis, of course,
Mm-hmm.
with moss or something else.
Mm-hmm.
But in Japanese arrangement, if you start doing that, it makes your whole arrangement really, really heavy at the bottom, and it just destroyed the whole idea. So it's not very good to use Oasis. It's very, I mean, you can use it. It's not for modern things, but it's not recommendable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What am I going to use with that? Oh, maybe this.
So then, is this green one going to be considered the second branch?
That's the second branch.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so they don't all have to be the same color or anything.
No, well, again, this particular arrangement is made of three main branches,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be three of the same thing, or it could be two different ones. In this case, it's two material because my back leaf is a bird of paradise leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So this
is pretty.
Let me put it again. This is the front.
It's great. It does kind of simulate a bird growing in real life.
Let's put a background to it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it gets lost.
It's beautiful. So it requires more thought and patience and understanding than it does actual time to put it together. I mean, the actual putting the things in there is not the hard part.
No, that's not the hard.
It was the 40 years leading up to that.
Yes, and you make it look very simple and very,
Wow.
Anybody can do it in 5 minutes type thing. But it's really the combination of material.
Results will vary.
Let me see that. The choice of material, the combination,
Mm-hmm.
and then how you trim it. That makes the difference, really.
It's gorgeous. So what is that red stick? Do you know?
That's
it's just
dogwood.
Ah.
In
So you ordered that.
yes, yeah. I ordered a lot of the material.
Mm-hmm. So now, tell me a little more about the show that's going to happen on Friday. You are going to use all of these materials
Yes.
and
probably.
more. And
I
you're
still
going to
have
be
to
here
cut bamboo.
working.
We'll use bamboo and we'll use pine.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be 50 different of them, a minimum of 50. And it'd be throughout the galleries as well as outside in the garden.
So it's your school and the fellow from Phoenix who...
Yes. And then there's two more schools. There is a school that is called the O'Hara School, which teaches at the Botanical Garden. And
is that the Irish Japanese school?
no, and it doesn't spell that way either.
Oh, okay.
But there's the O'Hara, it's in one word.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have also the Shinsei School, which is a very natural school, and the Sangetsu School, which is also very natural. It has that kind of a feel in most of their arrangements.
And are those people all from Tucson? Or are they coming from...
Well, Mr. Payne comes from Phoenix, but everybody else is from Tucson, yes.
Really?
Yeah, there's quite a few masters around here.
That's kind of great. I bet a lot of people in Tucson don't know that. I didn't know that.
So the next one, I have 35 to do, so.
You're rocking them out now.
Yeah, well, but I'm fast with the freestyle type thing. It takes so much longer if you want to do a formal arrangement. So I'm doing the freestyle first.
And then you'll have a big collection and you'll feel accomplished. That's good.
Exactly.
This already looks like a flower show to me. I mean, it's good. I love the shadows on the wall. That's part of the beauty. So some of them will be displayed outside and some of them in the indoor studio
Right,
setting.
right.
Are you going to use this room for part of it?
No,
No.
we have this room. I'll show you.
Yeah, the art gallery.
The art gallery.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
that's
the
nice.
other, the museum gallery also.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this room is too, well, doesn't need to be used for this purpose. Let's put it this way. Again, I try to eliminate a lot of the dead branches or the branches that are crisscrossing to make it look cleaner. And it's seldom that you have a branch you can just use like that.
Right. But you see something in the shape when you're outside that you like.
Yeah, otherwise you try to avoid to cut, because otherwise you end up by having a whole tree cut down for nothing, actually. And I was very fortunate that somebody went in the mountain, and actually it was a O'Hara teacher. She goes to the mountains and cuts. She has a special permit and she can cut some of the pines, but it's quite far away from here.
So she brought this to you?
Yes, she did her arrangement, and she usually brings me a couple of branches because we don't have this kind of pines around here.
Very nice.
So, and we can use dead material, but you have to be careful that it doesn't look too dead at the end. So that's why when you have branches, you try to clean them up so that it does look alive still, and not too worn out. When people start doing ikebana, many times they use, dead stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But even your dead stuff has to be beautiful. And and most branch you can bend them and they will stay bended. But
yeah, I noticed that's part of your technique.
right.
You just ask them to stay
to
there.
go one way or another. Say, please help me.
Yeah, I see.
If it looks too flat.
Yeah, I was surprised how far you get with that. That's what made me ask about that.
And then I'll just add a couple of flowers in the middle, maybe two types of flowers. I don't know yet.
So for you, it is Zen meditation. You are in the zone. Even though I'm here yakking at you and everything, you're still just like...
I'm going in there. Yes, I try to forget about you.
Right. Well, it's best for everyone if you do.
Yeah, and it's difficult to do that when you teach.
Well, yeah, because you have to talk.
But so, in a way, it's not so enjoyable to teach. But on the other hand, when you see what other people come up with, it's really neat. Because you could give the same material to 2 people. Well, 10 people, they all will come with something different.
Of course.
Okay, that will go too.
Oh, that's beautiful, actually. That's really like...
It's just
beautiful.
plugged it in.
Yep. It's good.
And I might take, I don't know yet, but I might take advantage of the fact that I do have a hole here.
Oh, yeah, you might as well. It's a specialty thing. That's good. That's good.
Well, thank you for thinking so.
Oh, and it looks good from all kinds of different directions.
I need to give it water. Now it's an arrangement without water.